What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LiteCoin today, LTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it, all right? It is the 30th of April, the very last day of the month, and we're sitting here at about $83, just below there, right? The monthly candle, 8 hours 48 minutes left till it closes. It actually looks pretty nice. I was looking at this, and I gotta admit, I was kind of I don't know what to make of this, right? This is not going to help the case of this being a nice candle, but it is a nice candle. It's called a dragonfly doji on a monthly time frame. It's actually a very positive signal. But to be fair, we had one here. The very last time we had one was in February, and well, we dropped down. We dropped down a lot. In fact, here you had the opposite, which was a bad candle in December, and we pumped. And then here, positive candle, and then you dropped. You know what I mean? Even back here, we keep on going. Negative candle, and you pumped right here, right? Positive candle, you did pump there. Okay, so we got one, but it's just funny. In Litecoin's history, it seems that these candles seem to be more deceitful than honest. But I will say, I think this time will be one of those honest moments. I think that we are finding higher lows throughout this whole range here, higher highs. This is a long sideways drawn movement with a slight tilt to the upside. It's a bullish configuration. It seems to be accumulative, and if it is, my anticipation would be that when it comes time to break out, we're going to see a spectacular move, guys. This was fun last cycle. What's coming is going to eat that up in like a matter of 2 months, right? So it's going to look similar to this, but with less time. You're gonna have a lot more growth to go by the end of the cycle, and to do that, you're gonna need to be at these prices pretty damn soon. So just out of necessity, like when we want to see you at prices that are around $300, if not higher, by the end of June, and that's kind of the expectation at this point in time. The reason why we're expecting that, the reason why it's not just hopes and dreams, is because you have a very long phase of accumulation here, right? This was the movement that you had. Look at how long you accumulated here. You're moving sideways. This was accumulation, right? You can see your lows, or you're getting higher lows here, accumulating here, and you had a fantastic move, right? What about this? This is 3 times, 4 times that size, right? What kind of move is that going to provide? Paired that with the fact that a lot of people have written Litecoin off. They think of it as a dead coin, that it's not going to see new all-time highs, but really it's just in a multi-cycle consolidation phase, right? It's not seeing lower highs, it's seeing higher lows, right? And if anything, it actually is seeing higher highs. And we're just in this consolidation phase. We've seen 2 coins break out of their multi-cycle consolidation phases already. And when they did that, they saw immaculate pumps. I mean, what I'm asking for Litecoin at a lower market cap than XRP and XLM, that's nothing, right? They did this pump in 1 month. We've got 2 months until the end of June, if not even the very beginning of July, for this to happen. I very much believe that we're going to see something stupendous happen with Litecoin. Anything above these highs, anything above like $400, $420, would be very suggestive that we are going to see these $6,000 prices and beyond, like I've been predicting for a little while now. Even if we don't see that, even if we stop right at our all-time highs and we consolidate, we still have that as a possibility. It's just it would up the likelihood. Does that make sense? That's all I'm trying to say there. I hope I'm making sense. Looking at the monthly RSI, we're getting higher lows, higher highs, looking good here, right? Very constructive. This next drive, it agrees with what I'm saying, that we're going to see the strongest move that you've seen in years, this whole cycle, you guys, and probably even stronger than anything we saw last cycle too. We're about to get overbought. Okay, very productive monthly RSI, but we haven't been overbought yet. The magic always happens when you're overbought, man. That's where the big moves happen, is when you're in the overbought zone, right? Relatively speaking, it's the relative strength index, so all relatively speaking. But I do believe that we're going to see some good behavior, some very fantastic behavior on our way up here. And who knows, man? We might not stop. Who knows? We might just continue moving up. Anything's possible. The goal, or the target right now in mind, would be something that's around 270 at a minimum, if not something that's in between there and your all-time highs at 413. I really wouldn't be surprised if we got there. If we're looking at this here on a weekly time frame, and again, this is like over the next couple months or so, on a weekly time frame, the RSI is bouncing off the same area that you bounced from before, Yes, this went a little bit lower, but you did bounce right here, which is basically in tandem with both of these lows over here. You've also bounced from it back here on your way up, found support on it here for a time. So just at this relatively significant area for Litecoin in the weekly RSI, looking like you're going to bounce, and you're going to see some overbought readings as well, right? The last time that we got overbought, we ran from this area, got overbought, and we saw a fantastic move. I'm thinking that this move will be even bigger, right? I've said that enough. I'm going to stop saying that, but I really do have strong beliefs that we're going to see something fantastic here with Litecoin. The reason why, again, is that we've been accumulating for multiple cycles, but relative to this accumulation phase, we've been accumulating since June of 2022. So for about 3 years. Once we break out of this, when we break out of this, the movements that we've become accustomed to over the past 3 years, they're nothing compared to what's going to happen, right? Just like whenever you broke out of this and you were there for like a year, not even, I don't know, from September 2019 till September 2020. So yeah, for about a year. When you broke out of that year-long consolidation phase, the move up that you saw was nothing compared to anything that you saw down here, right? None of these compared to it. It's going to be very, very similar here, but I digress. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. 3-day time frame, 3-day RSI is also looking pretty productive. You are in a downtrend. You do have lower highs and lower lows. This would be an area to go down from, and I could see that happening. The only reason I could see that happening is I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dropped, right? I'm not calling for this. I'm just putting it on my radar, putting it on your radar. My call at the moment still is that we'll move up to the upside, but I'm more hesitant and more cautious, let's say, today than I have been. Maybe that'll change by the end of the day or by tomorrow. But I have my reasons for that, and I've talked about it already a couple times today. I don't want to talk about it now, but just essentially, if Bitcoin drops, I could see LiteCoin dropping, and the 3-day RSI kind of suggests that too. And if you did, you'd probably get a higher low. You'd probably get a higher low here. Maybe you close below $70 on the 3-day time frame, but you get a higher low there overall. A double bottom, bullish divergence. I don't know. It could happen. I'm not calling for that right now, but everything else looks pretty positive. But the 3-day time frame, I guess, is suggestive of that. We do have 8 hours, 42 minutes left. I think if we can close this 3-day period green, if we can move up like 3% in the next 8 hours, that'd be nice. If not, we just want the next 3-day period to turn green, because if we get 2 3-day periods in a row that are turning red, it really is looking like we're rejecting off this area. And if we are, we probably go to the oversold zone, right? And that would probably drop us below $70. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That'd be a great opportunity to buy. I'm not saying that it does happen, but I'm not saying it doesn't happen either, right? It's a possibility. What I am saying is my expectation is we're about to move higher. This is just a possibility, okay? My expectation. It drives me crazy sometimes whenever people say, you say it's going to move up or move down. Well, I'm talking about both aspects, but I'm very clear as to what direction I believe is going to happen, right? I try to be clear at least. I'm not trying to play this game where I call for both and then one of them happens and I was like, I was right. No, I don't care about that. But looking at the daily time frame, getting away from that, we hit the overbought zone, rejected it. It's not a good look, but you are in an area to bounce, right? Between the 50 and the 60. That's nice. You could go a little bit lower today, and that's fine if you do. Again, we want the next 3 days to be bullish. It doesn't necessarily have to be today. From a low to a high, you're right at your 236. I mean, that could be, you could bounce from here, man. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but it could happen. Here you hit your 382. That would be something that I would more expect, is that you go down to about $77, and maybe you do, but as long as like 3 days from now you're closing above this, you're closing green. I don't have a problem with that. But a 236 bounce, it's not common. It's pretty rare actually, but it does happen in strong environments. And if this were to happen, if this is the case, you'd have to validate that by closing any day above about $87. If you can close above there any given day and not go below this low, you're validating a 236 bounce, and man, likely you're going to keep going until you see prices around $100, if not higher, which would be awesome. That's another like 20% from here, or more than that actually. It's like 25% almost, 20 to 25, somewhere in that range there. And you've got the right RSI for it as well. Yes. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Moving down with volume though, not encouraging. Definitely leading me to believe that you could go lower. 4-hour RSI sucks. Looks like it wants to go lower, but you are at an area to bounce here, relatively speaking, I suppose. I would still think you go lower, even if you do bounce from here a little bit. 1-hour time frame, yeah, pretty bad. Picking up volume on the way down. I guess we're looking for the downside, guys. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. We're at $83 now on a daily basis. I'm anticipating that over the coming days, maybe even today, who knows, we'll be at $77.50. Once we're there, we're looking for a bounce to close. What's 3 days from now? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So by Saturday, we want to close above effectively $83 wherever we close today, but I'm just saying 83 because that's where we are now. So if we can close above where we are at the close of today, Wednesday, the 30th of April, by Saturday, if we can close above there, I don't care how low we go lower. As long as you come back up, it's fine. But again, the reason why we want to avoid that is if we close 2 3-day candles in a row, this next 3-day candle will end on Saturday, right? If we close 2 3-day candles in a row, it looks like we're rejecting this area here. Whoops, I didn't draw that line too well, but you see what I'm going for. It looked like we're rejecting this area here and maybe going down to the oversold zone. If that happens, we've got lower prospects than just $77. we're looking at $70 or something around there, maybe even lower than that. So avoid all that headache. Close here or higher. If you can close here or higher, as long as you're above $81.40, there's still hope. But the shorter term time frames do make me think you're going lower. So I am calling for $77.50. Prove me wrong. Hold this area at 81.40. Don't go below there, and start closing days above. I think it was 87 bucks, 85 bucks, something like that. Yeah, start closing days above there, and I mean, if you can close today higher than yesterday, then that would be enough, honestly. But I don't know if we do. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I very much believe that LiteCoin has some stupendous growth ahead of it. I really do believe that we're going to see new all-time highs or prices around there by the end of June, if not early July. We just got a little turbulence first, right? Prices above $100 are coming probably within the next week or so. Prices that'll be multi-$100 will be here, I would think, by the end of May, man. Multi-$100 by the end of May, and then higher prices by the end of June. Probably still multi-$100, not quite at $1,000 yet. That'll be for a later date, but by the end of the cycle, you guys, I'm very much expecting we'll see a multi-$1,000 LiteCoin. Anything from $2,000 to $6,000 is fair game. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.